to Healthy Births, Happy Babies, where we share tips, tools, and stories grounded in natural childbirth and parenting principles, so that instead of feeling overwhelmed and confused during this exciting time in your life, you feel safe, supported, and empowered in your childbirth and parenting journey. And now, here's your host, Dr. Jay Warren.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Healthy Births, Happy Babies. I'm Dr. Jay Warren. I'm the Family Wellness Chiropractor and the Wellness Care Coordinator here at the CAP Wellness Center. And in today's episode, we have something completely different. We're going to do something very different here, something we've never done. We're really excited about it. And that is, instead of our normal format, which is where we have an expert talking about certain parts of pregnancy or with healthy babies, today we have her own expert of pregnancy. We have one of our CAP Wellness Center patients that is newly pregnant and is going to be going through the CAP Wellness Center services, and she's elected to share her story with us. So we have Amanda Dudley with us today. So Amanda, say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. Well, just to fill you in, meaning the listeners here, Amanda has come into the CAP Wellness Center. Dr. Cap is her prenatal doctor, and she has been in the CAP Wellness Center and starting to do some of the services and the classes there. And in the process of her getting started, we started talking, Amanda and I did, along with Care Messer, and we kind of came up with the idea of what if we spotlighted one of our moms, or mamas-to-be, going through the process and really kind of sharing her process so that it could help moms-to-be that are listening, either going through things at the CAP Wellness Center and with Dr. Cap here in San Diego or elsewhere around the country, just to have kind of a real-world slice of life, slice of pregnancy type of experience and hearing one person's story. And through those kind of conversations, Amanda, like, you were very gracious to say, yeah, I think that could help. And this is our first episode, so we're going to be doing this periodically, kind of doing check-ins and seeing what your experience is like. But today, I think let's do a little introduction. I want to have you, Amanda, introduce yourself and kind of tell us a little bit about your background, who you are, and where you're at, and then we can dive into some other questions there. So why don't you start off by just introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about yourself?
All right, thank you. Well, my name is Amanda. My husband is HR, Dudley, and I'm from San Diego, born and raised here. And my husband is from Virginia. He was brought out here by the military, the Marine Corps. And we live here in San Diego, and we've been married now for about a little over 2.5 years.
Great, congratulations.
Thank you.
And how many weeks pregnant are you?
I am currently 13 weeks and 4 days.
13 weeks. Congratulations.
Thank
and how
you.
long have you known that you're pregnant?
For a couple of months. I found out actually really early, about 4 weeks. So.
Right. Okay, good. And at the time of this recording, only some of the people in your family know. By the time all of you are listening to this episode, the families will know. We're going to hold off on publishing this episode until you've done your, quote, reveal. So, but it was just a couple of days ago that you told some of your family members. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so, some people choose to tell them right away. Some choose to wait a little while. For us, it was a really personal decision that we wanted to wait until, risk was lower and everything. And with the timing of it all, we just thought Christmas would be the perfect time. What better gift to give our families, especially since this will be the first grandkid for both my mom's side of the family as well as my husband's parents.
Both sides of the family. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
Yeah, so we had a family get together with my mom's side of the family, which is really the large portion of my family, this past weekend. And the way that we decided to do it is we bought a couple onesies, one for my dad specifically, one for my sister that had a cute little message on there about grandpa or aunt. And then we also made little frames and put an ultrasound picture in there and personalized those for my grandma and my dad and my sister. And didn't tell anyone, so my my uncle. He's always the cameraman at these kinds of events. So I asked him if he could please record them opening this gift because we got them a really great gag gift and we'd love to get it on camera.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah,
that's good.
so he
Do you
recorded.
think your uncle suspected anything?
No, not at all. He was like, all right, let me get it. So, yeah, so he recorded it. So there was a lot of gift opening going on, but I think because the camera was on them, I think everyone kind of was attention towards them, and it was perfect because as soon as they opened it, everyone started to cheer and get happy. I think before even my dad really realized what was going on, what was he looking at.
So did you have them all open the gifts at the same time?
We did. Yeah, we made sure that they all stayed on pace with each other so no one knew before the other. But my grandma and my dad were a little bit slower at, I think, getting what it was before my sister, my sister got it right away. But
she knew right away.
Yeah.
And then your grandma and your dad are kind of looking around. Wait, what am I missing?
Yeah.
So what was their reaction? I mean, you said they were all happy and surprised and supportive.
Yeah, they were really supportive. My dad, I think, was in shock. As he's gotten older, his tear ducts have gotten looser, and he has some tears of joy. And my sister was in shock that I didn't tell her sooner, and she was just really happy. She's been asking me questions on a daily basis since, and really can't wait to meet the baby. And she's really excited. And then my grandma. She just claims that she knew. I knew it.
Really? What did she say? What did she think that she knew?
She said grandmas just know. She actually had cornered me a little bit before this gift opening and said, Amanda, I want to let you know that I have a toy for your baby. Whenever you guys have a baby, I am holding on to it for you. And I said, okay, well, thanks, Grandma. I'll let you know when that's on its way.
And in the back of your mind, you're like, well, you don't have to hold on to it for too long.
Exactly. Wait 20 minutes and you'll know.
Oh, that's so fun. And it was. I mean, it sounds like an amazing, positive experience. Was that surprising to you at all? I mean, did you have any reservations about telling your parents?
No, not at all. Because so this side of the family is a really, really big family. There's lots of kids. They have an aunt with one with 6 kids, a couple with 5 kids, 4 kids. So they're, it's a big family atmosphere, and they're really supportive of that. And so they just were thrilled for me. This is the kind of family that's been asking, for a couple years now. When are you guys going to start a family? So. They were
you've been married for 2.5 years, right? So they've probably been asking for 2.5 years.
Yeah. So they were overjoyed.
Oh, that's fantastic. So that's your side of the family. And then what about HR's? What's the plans for that?
So actually on Christmas, so just a few days from Christmas now, we're going to be getting together with his parents and his brother. So his family's actually really small. Then he has his grandparents in Virginia, but his parents are here local. They're in just north of us, about an hour. And we'll be getting together with them, and we have a frame for them and a onesie and a little Christmas ornament that we got personalized, and we'll be giving them those, and they'll just open it and find out that way too.
Nice. Now, is there any reservations about telling his side of the family, or are they in the same boat of just, well, it's about time?
A little bit more reserved, especially my husband. He is just... I think he's just concerned because his dad is not I think his family in general, they're not as openly, warm and emotional. Like, they don't show their emotions very, the same as my side of the family.
Yeah.
So he's just worried that they won't be excited or won't show the excitement, I should say. I think they'll be excited, but he just wants a good, reaction out of them. And he thinks that the reaction won't be quite as, big, I guess, as my family, but I'm sure they'll be excited. And then my dad's side of the family actually we'll find out the day after Christmas as well.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
then everyone will know.
Now, so the people that know right now, are they like on the hush hush?
They are. We swore them to secrecy.
Very nice. Hopefully that holds. It's only a couple more days.
Yeah.
And so we met a number of weeks ago. You came to our prenatal wellness orientation class. It's a class that we offer for Dr. Cap's patients that we'd like to have people come to as soon as they know they're pregnant, to kind of give them a leg up on pregnancy. And so how did you come to choose Dr. Cap as your OB and as your prenatal doctor? Had you known him before? before, or is this new? How did that come about?
That was actually a really easy decision for me, only because I have heard of him before. I've actually known Care Messer for a number of years. I've worked with her. I've been really close with her family, taking care of her youngest daughter. So I was kind of essentially thrown into the birthing community through her, as far as knowing, about her first birth education center she opened up, and the classes she teaches, and the people she works with, and just an incredible community of people. So I was introduced to that through her. And, as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I definitely went to her because I knew she's the guru, and asked her, who should I go to? Who should be my doctor? And without hesitation, she said Dr. Cap. And so I just made sure he took my insurance and everything was good. And then I planned on seeing him from right then on. Didn't have to look, which was awesome.
Nice. And so what is the process with Dr. Cap? You schedule your first appointment, and what happens on that first appointment?
So my first appointment was really easy. I basically went in, and everything for me was pretty normal. I'm first time pregnancy, no risk of any kind that's, known. So I just went in. I think I did the pee in the cup, like a normal normal appointment, which I think all of them will be that way, and then did an ultrasound. And I was only 8 weeks actually when I went in for my first appointment, which I think is earlier than the norm, but he was able to see me that early, and we got to actually see the baby and hear the heartbeat at that first appointment, which was incredible.
Wow. What did that feel like?
I was instantly in tears as soon as I heard it. I needed that reassurance. I don't know what it is about being pregnant that you just worry so much, because I'm not that type of person to worry. I'm really optimistic, really positive, and just, I don't let things bother me too much and let things kind of roll off my shoulders. And so with pregnancy, though, I feel like there's just this innate worry that doesn't really go away until you have some kind of sign of reassurance like that.
Right.
So it was great to hear, and it kind of became real, I think, for my husband and I at that point, to be able to hear a heartbeat.
Right. Now, had you, in those first 8 weeks, or, you knew at 4 weeks, had you been sick at all? Had you had any nausea or morning sickness or anything like that?
Yeah, so that's what made me suspect. I really suspected pretty early, actually. Before 4 weeks, I had a couple days at work where I didn't feel very good. I had kind of some queasiness and didn't really think too much of it. I thought, I don't know, I felt like I needed saltines and ginger ale, but I didn't think too much of it. It wasn't until I think the next day or a couple days after that I had this terrible, kind of food and smell aversion that was really strong. Someone in my office was eating something that smelled really strong of like meat. I thought it was ribs or something. It was something completely different, but that smell just made me so queasy. I had to get out of the office. So I walked outside and just got some fresh air. And that was when I started to think, okay, this isn't just like your normal sickness. Something else is going on. And I really wanted to find out and take a test, but I knew it was too early, so I had to wait.
Right.
Yeah.
So no, this might be too personal question, but were you trying to get pregnant? Was it a surprise?
No, actually we we decided that we both this was planned. We didn't talk about it, but we weren't preventing it, and we were before, so we knowingly we're getting into this thinking we could get pregnant. It was kind of funny, though. We didn't really discuss we're ready. We had some goals for ourselves this year to pay off some debts and get into a better place to where we could start a family and not feel too bad about it or too tied down or anything. So that was our goal this year, and we got closer and closer to that goal. And it happened at the perfect time. I think we got pregnant maybe a month or so before our very last payment on a debt that we were trying to pay off. And so
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow. Well, and thank you for answering that question. That is a very personal question, and I appreciate you just being open and honest about it, because there's a lot of parents that, try for a long time and have varying levels of success, and it's like an effort to get pregnant. And then there's a bunch of oopses, where they weren't planning on it at all, and all of a sudden they're pregnant and going through the pregnancy gig. And then kind of the in-betweeners of like, well, we're not really trying, but we're also not trying.
Right.
Right. So good. So now with your first appointment with Dr. Kapp, like that was at 8 weeks, you said. Have you had another appointment with him, or when's your next one scheduled?
We had an appointment a little over a week ago. We had a 12-week appointment. Okay. That one was pretty similar to the first, just kind of checking in on baby, checking on the growth, where we thought the baby was. We didn't really have a firm due date at that point. They said that, or he said that when we did our the blood work or the labs, and as well as go to the specialist that does the ultrasound, where they really do measure the baby thoroughly, that would be able to confirm a due date. So we did both those appointments as well. So our 12-week with Cap, he did the ultrasound, and we got to hear a heartbeat again, see if everything was on track. He thought I might be measuring a little small. We went to the specialist, and they measured everything and confirmed the due date was actually right on target. So we were happy to have a solid date.
Okay. When is that estimated date?
June 23rd.
June 23rd, okay. Or a guess date, we like to call it here or there, because it really is a guess. Baby's going to come when baby wants to come, but it's also good to know roundabout when baby is going to be coming, right?
Right, yeah. We are not expecting the baby necessarily on that day. My husband's hoping for the 4th of July.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then we will see how baby wants to come into the world when your baby's ready. Now, are you planning on finding out the sex of the baby, or are you going to have it be a surprise?
We're actually not going to find out. We're Team Green. We're going to find out the day the baby comes.
All right. Great. And why are you doing that? What's your reasoning behind that? Not that you need to have a reason.
Oh, we do need a reason.
Every couple does it differently. I'm just curious how you guys decided.
Yeah, in our day and age where you can know, it's kind of insane not to. My husband was the one actually originally who wanted to not find out, and I thought that idea was crazy. I've heard of women doing this, and I thought, oh, that's so cool, good for you. Definitely not for me. And I think the idea of being able to plan and have, a color or a theme, or, for a nursery or whatever it is, and have, names and all of that just makes it easier. But after I started to contemplate and think about it, and I read a couple articles on, why people do it and what their stance is, and I got on board. I thought, it will be the biggest surprise ever. It'll make it all that more exciting to wait. Hopefully, maybe it'll make labor easier, because I will be that much more excited to find out.
Oh, that's
so yeah, that, and then also I'm not a big fan of the kind of gender cliches of pink and blue and cars and princess. So I really do like the gender neutral nurseries and those kinds of things. So and then one more thing that I think was also a plus is that we're kind of hoping we, as far as baby shower goes and things like that, we'll get more of the essentials and maybe not so much of the extra unnecessary, because we're trying to kind of go for more of a minimalist lifestyle right now and clear out and make room for baby and just get what we need.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's very well thought out.
Yeah.
Very, very practical, as well as like leaving the mysterious into it as well. You get the best of both worlds. Very nice. Now, so I just wanted to circle around. You had said that at that first appointment at 8 weeks, you're feeling a little scared maybe, and there was a lot of relief from hearing the heartbeat. Was it different at the 12-week appointment? Did you feel more secure, or is there still that kind of worry there?
I'll be honest. If I wasn't feeling anything too different on any given day from, before pregnancy, if I didn't feel pregnant, if I didn't feel like I had too many symptoms, I worry. And to be completely honest, I would take a test on almost a weekly basis.
Really?
Yeah. Just because I needed that to am I still pregnant? Is it still in there? Is it okay?
Yeah.
And again, that's not like me at all, but I needed that. So every appointment I think is reassuring, but as it's gotten, further, as I've gotten further along, it's helped a lot. That second appointment was also reassuring. I think the first one was just really more of like a confirmation, like, wow, I'm really pregnant. There's really a baby in there.
Right.
The second one was, definitely again reassuring. And then the appointment with the specialist when they measured, and I got to spend a lot more time, I think, in the ultrasound and looking at baby and watching and having the doctor measure, every little thing to make sure that everything looked good. And she kept telling me that, baby looked great. She even said baby was feisty because it was moving so much, and those kinds of things. I think at that appointment, I actually, when she left the room for a little bit, I started to tear up again, just because I was so glad and happy and relieved that everything, baby looked good and healthy and measuring right and everything. And yeah, it just felt good to know that.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to parenthood, right?
Right.
It is something totally different when it's your little one. I mean, I can speak from personal experience. When we did the ultrasound with my son at 19 weeks, we had chosen to find out the sex of the baby. And even though I've done all this like clinical work and I've worked with patients for, my whole career in pregnancy, going in yourself as a parent, I really kind of thought it was like, hey, we're going to find out if it's a boy or a girl today, and like all of the energy was around that. But I was so surprised at how relieving it was to, gratefully, everything was great with Nico, to hear that from the technician of like, all right, 10 fingers, 10 toes, and the heart and all of that kind of stuff, because Effie had been really sick during the first weeks. Even in 19 weeks, she was still really nauseous and sick and not too happy. So there is that part of you in the back of your head of like, oh God, I hope everything's okay. And that test was very relieving. It wasn't until a couple hours afterwards that I realized, oh my gosh, like I feel so much better. So, but it definitely kicks in a protective emotion that sometimes shows up as worry and sometimes shows up as fear, but hopefully it can be fueled towards protection and being proactive. And it sounds like you are. I mean, you were in Dr. Cap's office at 8 weeks, and you were in the prenatal wellness orientation class at 8 weeks, which is very early. We love that. And you're also signed up for a lot of the birth classes that CARE teaches through the center, as well as the CAP Center. Which do you know off the top of your head which ones you are taking?
So as of right now, I mean, I may sign up for others down the road, but as of right now, I'm going to be taking CARE's hypnobirthing class.
Oh, great.
Which I've, again, working with her for so long, back in the day, I've known about those classes and kind of helped her organizing, at least on the clerical and administrative side of that. Not really. That. Yeah, so I mean, I helped her with like making copies of things for her classes, and I saw the materials and things like that a lot, and I knew a bit about what she did. And yeah, I was her nanny and her personal assistant for the center. So I just got to see and look at that kind of stuff a lot, and get the idea of what it was. And I think that I just love the concepts of of getting outside of yourself, and the ideas of wanting to be comfortable necessarily, or wanting to look good during birth or whatever it is. I just want baby to be here, baby to come safely as possible, and to be in a good environment, and kind of trust my body, because that's what we're made for. Is I think that there's so much thought and ideas of making things comfortable for us, despite what maybe might be best for baby. And to me, it's really important is to try to have the best scenario for both me and baby. So if I can go with that natural route, I definitely will. If something else happens and it doesn't end up being what I planned, then so be it. But I definitely can prepare as much as I can to hopefully, be educated and know what my options are, and try to work through it, and let my body do the work that it's meant to. Right.
Wow. Amanda, you sound so grounded, so I mean, it makes sense that you chose Dr. Cap and coming to our wellness center here because, that's a lot of just kind of the paradigm that we're, supporting women in, but you're already coming in with that grounded. So now you get to learn these other methods to make it actionable, to really do all of those things. But, I mean, just listening to you talk right now, it's like you really have a solid sense. And I'm very impressed by that.
Thank you. I really do owe it to CARE and some of the other associations that I've met through CARE, just knowing and learning kind of about the idea of birth. I think before I met her, I'd say I was probably the typical young, girl who didn't really think that birth could be a good or fun or enjoyable or easy experience in any way. I think I feared it, just like a lot of women do. And she completely shifted my mindset, just associating with her and learning about what she says, and all of these other women that she's worked with and helped and had really successful and happy births. And I just thought that was amazing, and it kind of shifted my thoughts and my mindset about birth, and that it doesn't have to be such a scary and painful experience, and it can be really beautiful.
Right. Well, and that's something ongoingly as we're having conversations months into your process, like as you're starting the hypnobirthing class, maybe you can, share your experience going through the class and what you're learning. Maybe not necessarily like, you don't have to teach the class to people,
right.
But, just your experience as a person sitting in the chair and learning those things, just to give our listeners a better idea of what it's actually like. That would be really helpful, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. And then another couple of classes that we talked about is I'm definitely going to take the breastfeeding 101 class. I think that's always recommended to take a lot closer to the actual birth, so I'll be taking that one. Then after baby comes, especially for my husband, HR, we'll be taking a newborn 101 or newborn care class, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah, newborns 101. We usually recommend you take that before baby comes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. New breastfeeding, the class we usually have people, or we recommend you take a month before baby comes, just so you can be educated, so that breastfeeding is actually that much easier for you when baby comes. And the same thing for newborns. There's a lot of things that, even though, personally I had a lot of clinical experience with newborns and the like, I learned a lot in Newborns 101.
Yeah.
Having that information when the midwife left the house and we were on our own was very helpful. So especially I had changed one diaper in my life before my son was born. And I got a lot of practice afterwards, but all kinds of different things like that in the newborn care class. So good for you. Yeah, there's so much to learn in each one of those. And, as things progress along, we'd love to have you back and share more of your story. I think really what this could do for women listening is, one, our listeners are getting information about certain topics that we have experts on, and then also to hear it from you, from someone that's going through the experience. Maybe, on an episode by episode, they're following you in real time, but then also kind of throughout the whole process, once it's done, then we'll have this as something that a newly pregnant woman that's, 8 weeks just starting off can, follow your story, and, the ups and the downs. It's not all perfect all the time, and whatever you feel comfortable sharing with us is what we want. We don't want you to, it's not like a hard-hitting interview where you have to answer the tough questions if you don't want to, but anything you feel comfortable sharing, I think will be really helpful. And I just really thank you for, one, taking the time, and two, for being so open and sharing so much of your personal, family story and your pregnancy story.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm an open book, and I'm really excited for this opportunity. I know I would really love and appreciate to be able to have, someone to relate to and going through this. And so I just hope that, this can help other moms who might have similar, struggles or issues or ups or downs or whatever it may be throughout pregnancy, that they know that there's someone that can relate, and they're not alone.
Right. Well, and we talked a little bit about this a little while ago. I would love to have HR on as well, just to kind of get his perspective of things too, because I think that could be really helpful for dads. Do you think he'd be down with that?
Yeah, absolutely. He's actually really supportive of this and really excited. He's working, unfortunately, at the moment, so he couldn't be here. But I know that he's definitely on board, and he'd love to share also.
Well, that'd be really good, because us dads needs some information as well as support as well, and him going through the experience, I think a lot of people will be able to relate to as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Amanda, thank you again so much. Again, I am really impressed by your groundedness, and I'm just really happy for you. So I just want to wish you congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm happy you're part of the Cap Wellness family, and I'm excited to be a part of your process, but then also to listen to share your process with everyone and have it help everyone.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. So hopefully in the next month or so, after you've had your Christmas reveal to the rest of the family, we can have you back and kind of do a check-in and see where you're at.
Sounds great.
All right. Well, have a great holiday. Enjoy your reveal. I hope it goes really well, and we'll check in next time.
Thanks. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. For more information about this episode and other natural childbirth and parenting topics, please visit us at capwellnesscenter.com or message us on our Facebook page with any questions you might have. We here at the Cap Wellness Center look forward to helping you and your family be as happy and healthy as you can be.